Good morning. We're here again with the Think Like the Creator moment. And today I want to talk about, Think Like the Creator basically is you're giving up religion for a relationship. You're entering into giving up written words for a voice that is still talking. Not repeating words that was written by somebody that heard the same voice that you have the right to hear today. There's nothing wrong with what their stories were, but they were theirs. And you have the right to hear because the voice is still speaking. The Creator is still speaking. And He wants you to think like Him. I used to hear when I was in the religious belief, and I used to hear the word, His thoughts and His ways are far greater than yours. And they used to teach it like you couldn't think like Him. And that was so far from the truth. What He was saying is, my thoughts are higher than yours. My ways are higher than yours. So learn them, and learn them from me, the Creator. Now that should make so much more sense to you right now because it's instinctively in you. So when you think like the Creator, some people say they have light bulb moment. I say that's only because His truth was in you from birth. And when you hear it, that's the light bulb moment you're talking about. It connects, it's in you already. That's why when you heard any teachings from Jesus, He always asked the question because He knew the answer was in you. So let's talk about the difference between religion and relationship. Religion forces you to, it really does forces you to have a God as a ruler. And then you start searching for things that are wrong in people. You end up having condemning thoughts. These condemning thoughts are always having you thinking that a person should be condemned. Some of them even have you having the person condemned to hell. It causes you to have judgmental actions toward these people. And it forces you to be a hypocrite. Because even these judgmental thoughts and judgmental actions, they're always about something you done did, is doing, or will do in the future. That's what the Pharisees was about. The religious sect, the religious group, the lawmakers. They came up with rules and made God like a ruler instead of a father. And that's why they hated Jesus so much. These things about coming up with don't speak against God's anointed and all this old crap. What do you mean don't speak against God's anointed when the one that you say you serve, Jesus, they did it even down to the point of killing him? And we still have these people that are living like that today in religion. So back to the condemning, it forces you not to be able to see relationship. And the law causes you not to be able to love properly. But relationship awakens you to your birthright. It is instinctive in you. The knowledge is instinctive. That you have a father, mother that created you. And it's a relationship with that father, mother to a child. And it proves that you are part of a universal family. And that universal family include all the colors, all the races. It's kind of like if you look outside and it's springtime and you're seeing different colors of flowers and things like that. Just kind of sit there and relate that to those and see how that is so powerful that there's no judging going on between the red and the blue flower. It might sound silly, but it's real. But we have that all the time. The reason why is because religion got in the way of relationship. And it's a bigger problem than, people try to overlook it, but, and they still come up with, there's so many new religions out here, and all it does is just separate people based on what you believe in, what they think you should be believing. But this relationship is the foundation is love. It's rooted in love. It comes out of love. It spreads love. And the one thing about it, it has a universal law that will never need your belief to be true, to be active. It's kind of like gravity. You don't have to believe in gravity for it to be true, but as soon as you jump up, you're coming down. So gravity doesn't need you. And this law, this universal law that I'm talking about, is the universal law of sowing and reaping. Some people call it karma. Some people call it cause and effect. It's all the same. You sow it, you reap it. You sow good, you reap good. You sow bad, you reap bad. You only going to find that out through sowing and reaping. But the thing you need to know about sowing and reaping was created by the Creator long before any of us got here. And it was put into the universe to keep the balance. It keeps you balancing in in your needs. It keeps you balanced in your guidance, and it keeps you balanced in your correction. So when people are talking about, is the Creator mad at somebody, or you're being punished, or you're being attacked, I always wonder, do they even think about sowing and reaping? Because, there's a lot of people are so caught up in this, we all have free will choice. Okay, I agree with free will choice, but I don't agree with the end result being the end of your soul. Whatever you sow, you reap. So you don't have the freedom of his outcome not being the result. Yeah, you may have the freedom to choose between what you sow, but you got to know that whatever you sow, you reap. The results are his, and it was always to keep the balance, to keep you corrected, to keep you in the true guidance that you need, keep all us in it. And it makes us all accountable and responsible for our words and our actions. It's just that simple. So when you're in religion and you got this thinking that, you see a whore, a prostitute, use these same ones because it's all written in there, and adultery, murderer, or your family members that's not a part of your religion or don't think like you, and somebody done corrected you and they shouldn't. They see you're wrong and you don't, and you basically just going at them like you coming against God and me. And if you sowed something, you reaped it. You're reaping it. All that talk, that's just talk. If you're in the middle of it, you have to be able to understand that it's not a punishment. It's the way he set it up. And the most outstanding thing about it is this. Just examine your life by the sowing and reaping. Examine your health. By the words that you have put out. Examine your words and your actions. Examine what it done brought you in your health, in your finances, in your physical state, in your job conditions, in your emotional state, in your relationship state, what type of relationship conditions you're in. And then just ask the question, did I sow that in somebody else's life? Have I condemned someone? Have I had words and actions of condemning ways against it? And the reason, condemning against another human being. And the reason why I keep iterating this condemning thing, because it's a lot of that is taught in religion. You basically, if they don't follow what you follow, the first thing is taught is that they are lost, or that they are, that's the watered down version. But really, you're saying that they basically going somewhere that you're not, and you don't have that authority. Nobody does. This creation of hell and all this, this punishment from the God, the ruler, needs to be checked by the Creator. And then, if this law was created by the Creator, our Father, then sowing and reaping is in effect in your life for whatever actions you took. And even the teachings continue to go on from the book, whatever the book of your religious choice. And all of them have the same thing in there. It's like, whatever judgment you judge another person by, that judgment will return unto you. And whatever measure you measure another person by, that measure will return back unto you. The boomerang effect, it just comes back. So if you don't condemn somebody, it's coming back to you. Even if you condemn them to hell, what you think will come back to you if you think, really you ain't got to believe in that law, because it's in effect without your belief. But why would you be surprised that those things are happening in your life, your finances, your health, your relationship, your emotional state? Why would you be surprised? Don't. Because the reality is, you sold it. But the blessing is, you can stop sowing it. But how would you know to stop sowing it if your religious belief got you thinking you are saying and doing the right thing? See, the idea is, people think judging is the thing that you're not supposed to do. But judging comes naturally. You see something wrong, it's an analysis. You analyzing it. Judging is not the issue. He didn't say whatever judging you do. He said whatever judgment and measure. Judgment means you have condemned something to something. She going to hell, or they ain't gonna never be saved, or whatever your thoughts is. The key here is, you ain't have to say that. You didn't. And you can change it. The blessing is that there's a grace period where if you said something, then you realize that now you're thinking like the Father wants you to, the Creator wants you to, instead of this God ruler idea in religion. You can stop it before it takes root and cause a harvest in your life. When that happens, you truly do get to see the blessing. And when you see the blessing, you really and truly can live your life totally different. That grace where you pluck up the root before it gets too far down, because you put that out there. You can change it. That's the whole beauty of the guidance in the sowing and reaping law. During the 20 years of me being in religion, I always thought condemning someone to hell was so ridiculous. It was funny almost to me. But I heard it so often in it. I heard it from the funny part, I heard it from people that was doing the same thing that they were talking about the people doing. They was doing it, they did it in the past, and as far as I know, they'll do it again in the future. So when I would say, and this was really funny, so they would get so mad at me when I would say, well, when you going to hell? Because you did that. Or aren't you going to hell too? Because you did it? Then they come with this, oh, I'm forgiven. So I was like, so they don't get forgiveness? Ever? And then they walk away. Truly take this to heart. Thinking like the Creator is your birthright. And talking to Him every day, or to her, every day, is your responsibility. It was your responsibility from birth. Because she was always talking to you. In your sleep as an infant, throughout the day, giving you all that miracle of birth. Yes, you had to learn from your parents, but you never lost the connection with who created you. Never. And you will never lose it. Only thing that happens is religion can get in the way and make you overlook it. Stop and think. Do you always want and need a book to tell you about who created you when His voice, His presence is all around you, and you don't have to get that proven in your desperation moments in life? You can always have it every day without that. This was a Think Like the Creator moment.